Hi everyone, today I thought I would colour some of a picture from this book. This is Colour the Forest by Lotte Forde. Lotte sent me this lovely book. I have done a flip through of it, but I have been asked to colour a page. I'm not going to do the whole page because there's a lot of bits and pieces that are quite similar, but I thought I would make a start and sort of get you going if you're if you've got the book, and then finish it off and share a completed picture with you. I think I'll put that at the end of the video, so I might have to delay posting this until I finished. I've got my Castle Art Soft Touch pencils today to work with, and I thought we'd just start in the middle here with our little elf pixie gnome. And I am going to start with the flesh pencil and do the face. Now of course when you're colouring a little magical creature like this, you don't have to use a traditional skin tone, but I think it will work. Although I think pixies and gnomes and things are usually depicted in this sort of colour, which is why I've chosen it rather than a sort of purple or green or something like that. There we go. Now we can do a little bit of shading on that. We have a flesh deep here, and we're going to sharpen it a bit. Sorry, that's a bit close. And just show you. Now, flesh tone isn't the easiest thing to colour. What I tend to do is just think about where it might be a little bit darker at the bottom, make it a little darker across the cuff there. Keep it quite simple on this little chap, or chapess. I'm thinking chap, I don't know why. A little bit under here, not as dark as on the neck, inside the ear there. Oh, it's a very noisy train going by. And I'm going to put a bit of darker one in the mouth, trying to keep the teeth white, a little bit along the hairline. Now, there we go. That's it. Really quite straightforward. I guess I'm not that close, but we want to see the frog as well. Now the hair is interesting. Whoops, could depend on the background. If you're going to do a background in there, think about what colour you want to do it. If you're going to do it yellow, don't do blonde hair. That sort of thing. I think I am going to do yellow hair just for fun. I'm trying to work out which might work the best. I'm going to try the Naples yellow. It looks a little bit orangey. I can't remember. I know the yellows in the castles aren't always that vibrant. There we go. I think my pencil sharpener's really full. I'm struggling. I might have to use a different one. I could go and empty it, but you know, that would mean effort. Now, something that strikes me is this little chap's eyes. There are bits of black right at the very bottom, as if they're the sort of whatchamacallit, black bits of the eyes. Pupil? No, I don't know. I can't think today. But I think I won't add any colour. You could add like the iris, but I don't think I would. I think it might look a little bit odd. Now hat, I usually like to do pixies and things in greens, as the frog. But we've got a lot of leaves going on, so I'm wondering whether that's such a good idea. I mean, we could tone it all in, just use lots of greens. But I'm thinking let's go a little bit different. Let's get, let's go for a red hat. Can use the vermillion. It's a really lovely bright red. I'm going to put it down quite hard around the edge, so layering it up all around the edge like that, and then I want it slightly lighter in the middle so that it looks like it's got a little bit of shape to it. And then I'm just going to blend that round. There we go. Hopefully it looks like a little shapely hat. And I'm thinking maybe we take this colour into the trousers. We've got a stripe going on, so I think I'm gonna make that stripe red. There we go. I quite like a bright yellow jumper, but I'm not sure we can get a really bright yellow in this set, so maybe I'll go for a blue instead, just so I know it's going to be the colour that I expect. I don't want the sort of brightest blue in the box, I mean the darkest blue, sorry. That's, no, not that. I'm going to use the, maybe the ultramarine light might work. It's quite actually darkish blue. I was just looking through what I had. Some of the lighter blues are a bit not what my brain's telling me I want to do. That pencil sharpener is no good. Oops. I just picked up my other one, and instead of opening it, I just took the lid off as if I was emptying it. I'm trying to figure out which sharpener hole to use. This is a double. There we go. Okay, so we have the ultramarine light. I'm thinking I won't do the collar, but we'll sort of keep it lightish so we can make a darker bit in there. And again here, like a bit darker in there. And although I want it darker here, not as dark as that. And then lighter as we go up the sleeve, where it will be lighter on the top, I think. And then filling in the rest really, keeping that quite light, maybe a little line under that sort of collar part. Now that line there, is that the end of his jumper and a gap? Is that the top of the frog? I find this in a lot of books. Sometimes there's a bit of guesswork. I'm thinking, yeah, jumper. I don't know, I may have made the wrong decision, but I don't want to spend too long pondering. What I might have done had I not been on camera is look it up, see some other versions of this page colour, see what other people do. Okay, my final colour is going to be for this bit, the trousers or the skirt, whatever it is, and the collar. I'm thinking if we go for a purpley colour, this is the heather purple, it will bring together the red and the blue. And so make it a little bit dark on the edge, a bit lighter towards the middle, like that. Same here, it should be darker down here, wouldn't it? There we go. Now Mr. Frog. Now I rather like using this sort of lime greens, I mean the olive type greens for frogs. And we have these three here. The chrome, oxide of chrome, the chrome green and the cadmium green, they're all rather nice. I'm going to use the chrome green to start with for all the spots. And I just realised I haven't put a piece of paper behind this page, so I'm hoping it's going to be okay. I don't have any hanging around. Anyway, hopefully. Now this is an interesting book. A lot of the pages have a lot of fine detail, so if you like really detailed pictures, then it would really suit you. I've done a flip through so you can have a look. And this isn't Lotte's first book. This is the second in this Colour the Forest series. She's also got a Sky, I think, series as well. So if you like her style, it's worth having a little look at what she's got and seeing which ones you like. She approached me and asked me if I wanted one of her books, which was very kind of her. I decided to go for the forest rather than the sky one. It just felt a little bit more my thing somehow. Now I'm going to use the cadmium green, it's getting quite short, it's one of my favourites, to do just all the frog really, and then I'll come back in with the other green and do the sort of shadows after. I think that will be easier. Now a frog is standing on something, it could be absolutely anything. What do you think it might be? I'm thinking, could it be a top of a toadstool? That would be quite fun to colour. I don't really think I want to colour it as if it's a leaf, because we've got so much greenery going on, which I love to colour, but it's going to be very samey. And we've got lots of toadstools under here, you can see the tops there. So maybe it would make sense if it was like a toadstool. Not sure. So I think that's what I'm going to do. But because it's just a big flat bit with no spots or anything, I'm wondering how toadstooly it's actually going to look. I don't want to make it like bright red like the hat. I might do that with the ones further down, or also it comes all the way down to the ground. Maybe it's a rock. Maybe I'd be better colouring it as a rock and then do the toadstools. So you can see why I like this green, I hope. But you can see how with the flat colouring you can't really make out all the bits very well. So I'll come in and show you how I'm going to do the various different colours just to sort it out. Now in the mouth is tricky, we've got a little tongue on the centre of the mouth. I never quite know what to do, even on people. I just sort of winged it with our pixie gnome fairy imp elf leprechaun goblin troll. No, it's not a goblin or a troll or an imp, is he? Anyway, so that is that. Now we use the oxide of chrome. I can't remember which one we used just now. Did we use the chrome green or the oxide of chrome? Hang on. They are so similar. I can't tell. I'm going to use the oxide of chrome. I'm going to write them both down because I can't remember which one I used. I'm just going to give it a sharpen. This sharpener makes things long. Now, where are we going to colour? Well, in here first. There'd be some shadow there. Take it dark and then just scumble it in. Same here. Scumble it in. And I'm going to do that on all these little bits first. I've gone massively out of the lines there, haven't I? And completely miscolouring that bit. Must have been waffling on. Distracted. There we go. I'm still pondering that, how to colour this bit they're standing on. Right, I think there would be some deep shadow under here, like that, but also we might get a little bit around the edge of the body and, you know, on each of these. Just little bits here and there to try and give it a bit of shape. Okay, so around here I'm not going to go all the way to the top, and I'm going to scumble it in. Or maybe just scribble. Now here we're going to put in a shadow. And then some under there too. At the side here. And under there. Hopefully you can see as we're popping in the shadows, it helps to define the shape of our froggy a little bit. A little bit under there. Whoops, out of the line she goes again. He's a very smiley chappy. which is very lovely. Now oh no, hang on, them nose. There we go. Now we have the mouth. I'm quite tempted to use the flesh, actually. Keep it quite pale, actually. Hang on. We've got a fleshlight. I'm going to use these colours. Don't have these names anymore. Sorry. The flesh deep is peach. The fleshlight is tangerine, and the flesh is coral on the newer sets. What I'll do is I'll try and remember in the description to do that, but I may not remember. I'll try and remember. Now I want the eyes to have a little bit of black in the middle. Just trying to grab my black, which is far, far away. Ivory black. There we go. Now, so this bit he's standing on, I'm thinking I'm going to keep it quite a light neutral-ish colour, not too dark. I'm just going to erase where I went out of the lines here. If we want it to look like a stone, we could go for grey or we could go for brown. But I'm thinking if we go for brown, because I'll probably do the bottoms of these houses in grey. So let's use the yellow ochre light. It's a very lightish brown. And I want to just apply it all over, really. In a fairly even amount. If you've got a beige, that might be a better colour, really. Now I'm thinking what's going on here. I'm thinking this must all be this colour. Yeah. And I'm not thinking about doing much in the way of shading on this either. I mean, it's the way it's shaped, it might indicate it would be darker on the edges than the middle. But to be honest, I don't want it to be a big part of the picture. I'm wondering whether, how do we take it down here? Do we take it down to the ground? I think we do. But just sort of not all the way out to the edge of the page. Thinking to there. You can't see. And I'm thinking keeping it light is probably a good idea, because then these little items down here will stand out more, which I think they deserve to because they are so cute. Through this bit. And then in there, maybe just a bit there like that. I'm not going to do any more. I think just sort of, you know, tapering it off really towards the edge. A little bit in there. There we go. Okay, I might layer it up just a little bit under our frog where there would be a bit of shadow. But that's all. Now I'm going to not do all of this detail down here. I'm going to do one toadstool for you because I'm going to do them all the same. Now we've got a red hat up at the top here, you can't see where I was pointing. So I'm thinking rather than doing them red, I think I'll do them in a terracotta colour. And we'll start with terracotta anyway. So quite a few layers on the edge to make it quite defined. And then start to fade it towards the middle. And the same here. Like that, so fading it quite a bit. Like that, and then I'm going to grab a more orangey colour. Maybe the cinnamon. No. Let's go with the what's that? I think I'm going to go with a bright and a cadmium orange, and I'm going to go all over it because it makes it easier to blend. And then bring it into the middle. Now this I think is an Amazon printed book, yeah, so the paper will vary depending on where you buy it from because it will be printed in different places, but I'm okay with Amazon paper. It's quite thin, which means that it's a good idea to put some padding under it, especially if you're at the end of a book, but I do that anyway. But apart from that, I think it's fine. Okay, so there's my top of my mushroom / toadstool. I'm just going to note down that that's what I've done because I need to finish it, and I will want to use the same colours for the whole thing. So mushroom top, terracotta. It gives you time to catch up as well if you're colouring along. I don't know how many of you will have this book. Now the stem part, I think I'm going to start do this top piece in a Davys grey. I'm going to try and fade it towards the middle in the same way as I did for the top part, like that. Okay, so simple. And then for the base, I'm going to use a more cool grey. I think we do have a cool grey. Yeah, ooh, cool grey, and I want to do the same thing. So a more intense layer on the edge, and then less towards the middle, so we can emphasize the shape. Now we have a few bits going on with regards to windows and things, so we can do that too. It shouldn't take very long. Okay. What colour was that? Cool grey. Now the window frames. What should we do? I think we'll do them in a sepia, and the door frames. That might work. I'm going to have to sharpen it. Perhaps if I use that hole on the sharpener, it won't be as long. Yeah. So the sepia, because it's an orangey brown, I think it'll go well with the colours we've used already. And there. So this is what I'll use for all the door frames and things. And maybe for that, probably for that door, to be fair. Now where we've got windows, we need to do some light. We want our brightest yellow, which I think is the golden yellow deep. Okay, it's a bit blunt, this one. Look at that, lovely. Now where am I going next? I think the stones. I think I'm going to do them brown rather than grey, just because we're going to have all these in grey, although we've got a bit of brown going on there. I think it will be better. So I'm going to use the Van Dyke brown though, and with a stone. Oh, my pencils are rolling everywhere. Basically I try and do it darker at the bottom, like that, and then lighten it as I go up, like that. Looks really quite similar colour to the sepia, but that's okay, as long as it doesn't look too similar to the door frames. That's what I was more concerned about, really. There we go, there's a few more. I've just ended up doing all of them. Okay, I think we'll do some of the more major bits now. We've got the leaves. Now let's come out so you can see the design. So we've basically got these leaves here and here and here. We've got these long ones, we've got this one in the middle, and we've got grasses. So I'm thinking, because it's like a frame for the picture and it's not our main focus, I want us to notice these at the bottom and this in the middle. I'm going to do all my leaves with the same mix of greens. I'm just having a look at what I've got. I think I might use the castle green and the castle green light. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to slightly ignore the drawing on the leaf and just go dark at the bottom and fade it, and then do it lighter at the tip. So that it's nice and simple, as there is a lot of green. Now you may feel that using the same green all the time is going to be too boring for you to colour with. I know sometimes it gets really dull colouring with the same colours. I'm going in with the light. That's fine. Do something different, you know, do different colours on different bits. I might end up doing that myself. I better not though, because I've told you this is how I'm going to do it, so this is how I'm going to do it. So this is how it looks with the two colours mixed together. I've done it quite quickly and roughly, but to be honest, it's probably how I'll end up doing the greens. There we go. So I'm just trying to make sure they're all blended together quite well. So there's our leaf. It's a rather nice, just a pretty green, really. I'm trying to see whether I might change it up a bit, but I don't think I will. And so that's all our leaves dealt with. What else do we have? We have at the very top, we have a couple of things. We have these grapes and this seed pod. Now these are quite interesting. I'm thinking I might take some of the colours that I've used already, so that it doesn't, we don't keep introducing new things, but colours from here. So for the grapes, I'm going to use the heather purple. I'm just going to do it now because I like doing them. Lots of layers on the outside, fade towards the middle. Now the other one, I'm trying to think of the colour for the other. I think I'm going to have to use the red that I used for the hat, because I don't really want to use blue and I don't want to use green. So I think by balancing it and using similar colours in different places, it helps to bring the picture together somehow and sort of guide the eye around, I think. The greens for this, I'll just use the castle light greens that we were using for all the other greenery. So that won't be any different. Sorry, I should stop and do this later, but I'm having too much fun, so you're going to have to just wait. Now if you want to make that really defined, you could use a bit of a black around the edge of each one, or particularly in that gap there. I think I'm going to keep it quite light. And now we have our red, which we'll use for this. Now it's the vermilion that we used for his hat, which is the red we're going to use. I don't want to use it too hard. I'm going to just put a really light layer all over and then think about whether I want to, what I want to do. I don't want it too dark, although I did the purple quite dark, to be honest. So I think this bit and that bit I'll leave green. This looks like a pumpkin, but it's going to be red. Why not? So I'm thinking darker around the edges. Just keeping an eye on the time because my boys will be due home soon. I think the key is in the front door, so I won't be able to get in. It always feels a little bit mean locking your family out of the house. So I need to go and make sure of that in a bit. I usually actually unlock the door for them so they can just walk in. Okay, that's that one. So that's how that's going to look. We have a few more bits down here. There's the greenery here. I think I'm going to just use the hooker's green for that, and for all of it the same. I'll just give it a sharpen. I'm actually using a Prismacolor sharpener because it's what I happen to have here. So hooker's green. And I'm going to try and fade it towards the tip a little bit. And I'm going to do all of it just because I can. I don't know what that is under that corner there. I'm going to do it the same, as if it's a little bit of bush growing at the front of the house. I don't know if that's what it's meant to be, or if it should have been a stone, but anyway, I don't think it matters that much. Sometimes it matters if you get it wrong and it's something important in the picture, but most times it doesn't. Yeah, doing that like a little bush. Okay, we've got this acorn to do. Let's just do that, and then I will end and I'll just finish it off. There's so many leaves, it's going to take me a little while. So the acorn, I want my really darkest brown. I have got a burnt umber that I'm going to use. Sorry, that didn't show up. There you go. First, to sharpen it. Everything is sharpening today. Oh, and it's broken in the sharpener. Yay. Luckily it's got 2 holes. We'll try in the other hole. That didn't sound very promising, did it? Oh, it's okay. I'm looking out the window while I'm sharpening. Ugh. It broke again. Obviously doesn't like that Prisma sharpener. I'll give it one chance. Oh, there we go. Got it. Yeah, I was looking out the rain while I was sharpening. It's quite rainy today. It's supposed to get some sunny weather soon. When it's time for the King's coronation, apparently it's going to be sunny. But I think it's a little bit far ahead. The newspapers this morning, it's we're still in April when I'm recording this, and the newspapers this morning was saying, oh, it's going to be a scorcher, it's going to be 24 degrees for the coronation, blah blah blah. I had a look at the long-term weather forecast for this area, which is we're quite far away from London where the coronation is taking place, and it's not going to be that hot. It's going to be hot, but not that hot. Right, I'm going to try using a cinnamony type colour for this. It might be a bit too much, so I'm going to use it lightly. Oh no, I think it's going to work, because I don't want it to don't know what the word is, non-brown. I'm so good at explaining. Right, there we go. I'm going to go over that with the terracotta light, just to darken it up without it being, I don't want it as orangey as these, but I want it to be a little bit more saturated. I think that works. There we go. Now I think we've done nearly everything. The only thing we've got right down here, really teeny tiny, is a little pot with a flower in. And I want to bring in some of those colours that we used at the top. So I'm going to make the flower pot purple. So that's the heather purple. There we go. It's very small. And I'm going to make the flower vermillion, like we used for the hat at the top there and for the seed pod, or pumpkin, whatever it was. And for the leaves, I think I'm just going to grab one of our froggy colours, the oxide of chrome. Now everything else you've done. The only thing is these mushrooms that have the line there, what I would do with that line was to use the terracotta quite hard down there without any of the orange mixed in. I'll show you. So we used, yeah, here's the terracotta. So use the terracotta here. Make it more intense on the edge and a bit less towards the middle, like that. Okay. And then when you use it on the top, we're doing the same sort of thing, so fading it towards the middle like we did on the other one. Like that. But we're going to put orange on top, but we're not putting the orange on top of this bottom piece. So hopefully it will look a little bit different. It's only a shade or two different. It's not huge, but it will look a bit different, you see. So that's how I would approach that. And this one here has a blind at the window, really small. I'm going to do that now too. I'm going to use the red, the vermilion. Gosh, it's small. It's got a little thing hanging from the blind to pull it down, but I'm going to ignore that because it's too teeny, and I'm just going to colour over it with the yellow that we're using for the windows, and just sort of pretend that it's see-through. There we go. So that is all I'm doing on this now. I'm going to finish it off and hold on to the end and you'll see my completed picture. I might do a background with yellow pastels, soft pastels. That's my thought now, but I may decide not to. I think it needs something, because we've gone all the way down to the bottom with this, it needs something above here, and I think a yellow might just sit back quite nicely. So that is probably what I'm going to do. But you know, if I change my mind, I'll come back in and explain to you what I've done. But that's me for now. So thank you for watching. If you coloured along, I hope you had fun, and have fun with the rest of the picture. Otherwise, hang on and see how I did and think about what you think. But I hope that was okay. Even if you don't have the book, you may have had some fun with it, with watching. But thank you so much. Have a really lovely day and happy colouring.